Hey everyone, I am back from my 2-week business trip, and it seems like almost all of the eggs we had cooking decided to hatch while I was gone. So I missed out on a lot of the excitement during my trip, but Ed got to see the excitement at least, and he was sending me picture updates, which was great, but it's still not the real thing. So I got to come home to babies galore inside, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna show those babies to you today. If you recall, right before I left, like literally 45 minutes before I had to leave for this trip, we had a very exciting clutch of bull snakes start hatching. And it wasn't until I started cutting them open in that video, which is right here if you haven't seen it, it wasn't until I cut them open when I realized that, oh my gosh, there's albinos in this clutch and I wasn't expecting it. So we had those hatch. We also had a clutch of hognose snakes hatch while I was gone, a big clutch too. And we had a clutch of just normal bull snakes hatch. And we were expecting them to be normals. So I'm going to show them to you in the reverse order, and it'll make sense in a little while I'm going to do that. So let's start with the normal bull snake clutch. Of course, first I've got to introduce you to at least one of the parents so you know, kind of have an idea of what the babies are going to look like. This is Janet. He was my first snake actually. He is my male bull snake. We thought he was a female at first, which is why his name is Janet. So when we got him a female, we named her Brad, so we had to stick with the theme, of course. And of course, he doesn't live in this. We just brought this down for filming purposes. He lives in a much bigger enclosure. But Janet here is a sweetheart. He's awesome. He is a Minnesota locale bull snake, we're pretty sure. We're not positive because he was abandoned in an apartment, so we don't know exactly what his history is, but he is a fantastic snake. We pair him every year to Brad, who is a bigger bull snake, and we think she might be a Texas locale, and she produces big clutches, not only in quantity, but in size, like of the eggs. The babies she has are big, but she's in blue, and so she's really extra sassy today, so I'm not gonna show her to you, but let me show you their babies. All right, are you ready for their babies? Here they are. This is what has hatched so far. There are just so many baby bull snakes in here. It is incredible. I love these big clutches. She had a clutch of 21 eggs, and most of them are out. They actually hatched about a week ago, or some of them hatched about a week ago. You can see they're starting to go into blue for their first shed. So right now they still have that baby sheen on them, and they'll have more solid scales after they finish that first shed. They're actually being surprisingly docile right now. These are usually, like Brad and Janet's babies, are usually pretty feisty, but of course they're not going to be feisty on camera. Oh, you guys are so cute. I love you little guys. So I mean, even though these are just normals, they're still beautiful little bull snakes. We haven't sexed them yet, but they're pretty easy to sex. Looks like probably have a boy there. Yeah, and then what do we have over here? That one, probably another boy. So we'll be going through all of these, and basically I'm looking at the length and the shape of their tail to determine what sex they are. But we'll take a closer look later on and separate them based on what sex they are, and then we can monitor their feeding. They haven't been fed yet because they haven't finished their shed. With bull snakes, you wait until that shed is complete, and then you feed them, and after the couple meals have successfully passed through, then they'll be ready for their new homes. Now these are just the ones that have hatched. And there's actually more, and again, these aren't staying in this bin either. We just put them in here for this video. There's still quite a few babies that haven't hatched yet. Here's the second half of their clutch. Oh wow, actually, a lot of them had decided to hatch overnight apparently. Well, we can move these in with the other babies while we're here. Look at you guys, you're so shiny. There, oh, I love that baby sheen to these little guys. Are you guys sassy? Oh, they're not too bad actually.
Wait till Mrs. Wilson's clutch.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Missy's clutch.
Yeah, when Missy's clutch comes out though, yeah, those are the sassy ones. All right, guys, well, since you're all out of the eggs, let's move you over to your siblings. And then, oh, there we go. Here's a sassy one. Hey, buddy. Oh, you're so fierce. I am so scared. Oh my goodness. Whoa, and you're gonna take it off. All right, come here. And then the last one. See, these babies are like chunky. They are chunky little monkeys. They are nice and healthy. I love seeing chunky baby snakes right out of the egg. It means they're gonna probably be good eaters and good size too. We'll add the last one over to his siblings. Hi, cutie. No, go back in there. Stay in. I'll move you into the baby enclosure soon enough. And there's still, I think, a few that haven't hatched. Looks like, oh, there was a little nose. I think there's one still in here. There's another nose. There's one in here. And yep, still another baby in there yet to come out. But out of 21 eggs, it looks like all 21 of them are going to hatch once they're ready, and they all look fantastic. So that is the normal clutch of bull snakes that we had hatch and still is hatching, so I didn't miss out on all of the excitement during my trip. But next, let me show you the baby hognose snakes. Just like before, let me introduce you to, actually in this case, since they're not as big, I can show you both parents. This is the proud father. He is in zombie mode right now. See, he's got those blue eyes. He's pretty close to shedding. This is a condomorph hognose snake, so he's got the mostly dark belly. Some condas have completely black bellies, which is preferred, but he's still a nice condomorph and has that reduced dorsal pattern too. And the spaz on the right is the mom. She's just a normal hognose snake. She is ravenous too, so I'm hoping she doesn't try to take a bite out of me. But she's a nice, good size hognose snake, but she's no special morpher. She's not even het for any morphs. She's just completely normal. But with the condomorph being a codominant trait, we were expecting about half of their babies to be a condomorph. And if you're not sure how codominant traits or recessive or dominant traits work, you can actually watch my Intro to Genetics video right here, and then this will make a little more sense what we're about to show you when it comes to the babies. Now that you've met their parents, check out the babies. All of the babies are out with this clutch. And as you can see, there are some normals and some, like this one, some condas. See the reduced pattern? I'll hold them side by side so you can really see the difference. You can really look at that pattern, just larger spots, but fewer, and they're nice and clean. This is actually a really nice conda, and let's check out his or her belly. Ooh, nice black belly too. Awesome! So these were really exciting to come home to. And they're just so stinking cute. They're so tiny. I always forget how little they are. There's one over here that looks, well, is this the one that you said looked kind of greenish?
You can't really see it on camera.
Yeah, I can't really tell. So it's not like we're gonna sell him for any more, but he just looks a little bit.
There's a red one in here.
Kind of a red spotted.
This one.
This one? Yeah, this one has a little bit more copper colored spots, so that one's really pretty. And there's
the light throws it all off.
Yeah, the lighting on the cameras makes it a little funny. There was one in here. Oh, here it is. This is a conda, but look at the stripe behind its head. Really long stripe. That's kind of cool. Wonder if you're a boy or a girl. You are boy. Ooh, you're a nice boy too. See that long tail? We will be selling the baby hognoses, but we do have quite a waiting list for these little cuties. So I believe they are all already claimed. At least when we go through the waiting list, they will be. We have a couple of spider hog does whatever spider hog does. Look at them, super cute. They're just everywhere. All right, so that is our, and as you can see, it's about 50% condas, 50% normals. So it was just exactly what we were expecting there. And once they take several meals, hopefully we can get them on unscented frozen thawed pinkies right away. We'll see if that actually happens. Hognoses are notoriously picky eaters, but we have some tricks up our sleeve to get them eating before they go off to their new homes. And finally, the clutch of bull snakes. But here first is their dad. This is Mr. Wilson. He is a hypoalbino bull snake, or a hibino they're sometimes called. He is also het whiteside, and we paired him with just our normal hypo bull snake. Her name is Missy. I don't have her out, too many bull snakes to handle, but we were expecting all their babies just to be plain hypos, het for albinos, since dad here is an albino. But when we saw the babies, we couldn't believe what we ended up getting. Are you ready for this? All 7 eggs hatched and they look great. If you watched the cutting video where we opened them up, you may remember there were 2 mysteries, and those are out too. Let's check them out. We have them all together. They are sassy. Oh my goodness, this clutch has big attitudes. Like, I'm surprised only one of them is striking at me right now. Now, what we have in this clutch are just 2 of the hypos that we were expecting them all to be. Here's one of the hypos, and what the hypo gene does is it increases the amount of yellow that you see in their scales. It's kind of hard to see in just one, so here is one of the normal bull snakes from the other clutch, and side by side, you can really see the difference between the hypo and the normal. So they're much brighter in appearance. We ended up with 2 of these hypos in the clutch. The other one's kind of buried by his siblings. We also hatched out some albinos, Now, these albinos, since both parents were hypos, are actually hypo as well. So these are hybinos. And if you compare a hybino bull snake to a normal bull snake, you'll see how much more red and bright the hybino on the bottom's colors are. Now, this is the normal albino that we are keeping. She is the high white, so she's really pretty too, but she doesn't have that hypo mutation going on as well. So this is our normal albino, and then here's another one of the hypo albinos. See the contrast difference? Just amazing, beautiful snakes, and sassy too. It's hard to keep them all in one spot, but I figured this would be a good way for you to see them all side by side. Oh, really? Of course, the one we're keeping is like the sassiest one out of the clutch. Now, what you have to do with baby bull snakes is they quite often have these feisty personalities, but they can't really break the skin at this point. They're too small, their teeth are too little. So what you have to do to get these to be handleable is you just have to call their bluff. You have to reach in, pick them up anyway, show them that, you know, you're not gonna hurt them. They think that you are a predator because they're prey size for a lot of different animals at this age. They get picked up by just about anything. So you can't blame them for being defensive, but the more you handle them, the more they calm down. So they are probably the feistiest they'll be right now, fresh out of the egg. But if you hold them for about 15 minutes twice a day, after a month or so, they should start calming down and realizing that you're not a predator. You have a really good strike pose going on. Oh, so feisty, so feisty. But see, they can't do anything. So you just kind of have to let them do it and learn that they're not going to hurt you. I'm gonna put the normal albino with the rest just because to keep them contained a little bit more. We've decided to keep this one out of the clutch. This is one of the hybinos, of course. It has the red eyes, and this one has a lot of pattern or a lot of noise going on the dorsal side of the snake. So we decided to raise him up and see what ends up coming out of him in future generations. But the one you're all really interested in, I'm sure, is that white colored baby. And that one is right over here. This one is, in fact, a snow. We got another snow. Of course, we're keeping the two sassiest snakes out of the clutch. We're gonna hold this one back too, because this one is a snow, which in the bull snake world is actually albino and white side, not albino and axanthic like most other snow snakes are. In bull snakes, an albino and axanthic snake would be considered a true snow. So this is just a snow, but since it's hypo as well, since all the babies from this clutch were hypo, since both parents were hypo, this would be considered a hypo snow. So we're going to be holding him back and working with him, and we'll be letting go the other snow from the previous clutch that we were planning on keeping, but at this point I think we're going to keep this one instead since he's also hypo. After we discovered these beautiful like albino and hybino babies from this clutch, we now know that the mother, Missy, was not just hypo, but she was also het albino and het white side, which is showing in the snow. So that was an amazing discovery when the babies started pipping. So overall, beautiful clutches of snakes that hatched while I was gone, and I'm sorry it took a little while for you to be able to see what the babies looked like. I had to wait till I got back and then had a chance to film all of these beautiful snakes. I would say that this was a very productive year breeding bull snakes. Here's the majority of the babies that we hatched this year. This isn't even all of them. There's still about 15 upstairs of various morphs from the Mr. and Mrs. Wilson clutch. But look at this variety. We've got white sides, hypos, normals, snows, albinos, hybinos, just a little bit of everything.
Hypo snow.
Oh yeah, and hypo snow, exactly, that we're keeping. I just want to like dive right in to all of these. What does it feel like to have hands covered in bull snakes? Yes! Look at them all! There's so many baby bull snakes. This is insane. We have so many mouths to feed until they go to their new homes. Pretty much all of these already have new homes lined up. It's just a matter of us feeding them until they are ready for those new homes, and then we'll be sending them out. But this has been an awesome breeding season, and we still have a few clutches still to hatch. They're just later down the line. This is probably the most babies we'll have at any given point of time this year. Awesome, awesome tub of noodles. As they're getting to be too active for me to continue filming. Thank you for following our breeding journey this season, and it was much more successful than we were ever expecting. Awesome morphs that we ended up getting this year, and yeah, thanks again, and we'll keep you posted on the future babies that we have cooking still in the incubator, but I believe these will be the last bull snakes that we end up breeding this year anyway, and it'll still be exciting to see them in their new homes. It'll be sad to see them go once they're ready, but we are holding back 4. We're holding back 4, 2 snows and 2 albinos. Yeah, exactly. 1 albino. And actually, some of these will be going to their new homes later today, including this white side. This one is being picked up right now. This one's Jace's. Here you go. Here's your bull snake.
Thank you.
Just ate yesterday, so he should be nice and full. So thank you again for following our breeding journey this summer. We'll keep you posted on future babies, and I have some feeding videos for some of their first meals that will be going up in future YouTube videos as well.
What? Feed My Pet Friday?
Feed My Pet Friday,
It's
yes.
not completely gone?
It's not completely gone. I'm going to sneak in a couple of more Feed My Pet Fridays, and we'll see how long they stay up before they get flagged. But I had to do at least one Feed My Pet Friday of the baby bull snakes, so that'll be in the future. We'll see how long it lasts, but it'll at least be up eventually. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. It's like a waterfall. I'm gonna start that again. Oh man. Oh, of course we're keeping the sassiest one of this batch too.